What's up, Big Wrist Syndicate? And today we're talking about a watch so large it might have its own gravitational pull. Meet the Casio AE3000, also known as the Big Unit, the Wrist UFO, or as I like to call it, the AE1200 that went through a protein bulking phase and never looked back. And this thing makes the AE1200 look like a small ring. All right, let's talk numbers before we start cracking start cracking size jokes again, which we will. Case diameter, 57.1 millimeters. Thickness, 15.3. That's a thick boy. That's a thick ass boy. Lug to lug, a wrist devouring 63 millimeters. Weight, 80 grams. So not crazy heavy, just a little bit dominant. Water resistance, 100 meters. The module is the 3198 with world time for 300 cities. Battery life, 10 years. Yup, it'll outlive your gym membership and probably your next relationship. Now, Casio says this is the part of their world time series, but with a screen this big, it's more like the world and moon time. All right, let's bring in the people's champ, the Casio AE1200, aka the Casio Royale. This is a 39mm watch, a classic, beloved, compact, slick, and when you put it next to the AE3000, it's like father and son. It's like a smart car parking next to a dump truck. It's like me standing next to, well, Sasquatch? The AE1200 has charm. The AE3000 has presence. This is for the guy who looks at the AE1200 and says, yeah, nice, but where's the rest of it? Next up, the DW291H, another chunky Casio favorite, 50mm case, 200-meter water resistance, rugged design, and it's the G-Shock Lite. If the DW291H is your gym bro, the AE3000 is your gym coach who eats nails and protein powder for breakfast. The 291H is big, but the AE3000 makes it look like a mid-size sedan next to a Humvee. Both have great wrist presence, both look tactical, but the AE3000's huge screen layout just feels different. You can read it from across the room. Hell, you can read it from across the house. Now, the AE1500 is no slouch. Hell, I thought that was the biggest watch that Casio made, but boy was I wrong. This one's 54 millimeters, another big boy Casio with its bold digits and simple layout. If you love the AE1500, the AE3000 is like its big brother who went to college and learned geography. The AE3000 has that multi-city world time map. The AE1500's got big digits. So what's the AE3000's deal? It gives you 3 time zones on a screen at once. And if you travel, that's actually handy. Or if you just want to pretend you're busy in 3 countries at once. So the AE3000's interface looks intimidating, but it's pure Casio logic. Mode 1, world time up to 300 cities, adjustable in 10-degree increments of longitude. Mode 2, stopwatch. Mode 3, countdown timer. Mode 4, alarms, 5 of them. Mode 5, timekeeping. And that world map isn't just for show. It lights up and highlights your active zone. It's like having a 2000s era flight simulator on your wrist. Finally, a watch big enough to track the time in every country where my exes live. Also, the backlight, 2 little LEDs here at the bottom. I mean, it's no EL display, but it'll get the job done. I mean, there's no beacon in the night, but if you need to check the time at 2 a.m. when you're headed to the fridge to get those leftover tacos, this is your boy. Now let's talk wrist presence, because that's what the Big Wrist Syndicate is all about. If you got small wrist, don't even try it. This isn't for the faint of forearm. This is for men who roll up their sleeves and make people move over on airplanes. It's bold, unapologetic, and honestly, kind of ridiculous, but it's ridiculous in the best way. It's none of those, it's one of those watches that says, yeah, I'm wearing a satellite dish on my wrist and I like it. Now, this watch comes on a resin strap, which I could not stand, because even though this wasn't sold in the United States, so when you get it, it comes on a resin strap and it almost come straight down like this, right? Well, when I wore it on my wrist with the regular strap, yeah, I could wear it, but because of the contour of the watch, or the ends here, there would be a gap between my wrist and the watch, and it felt funny, and it was like pinching my wrist. So, you know, I ordered these adapters. Now this should tell you something how big this watch is. The Casio AE1500, 18 millimeter. The AE1200, 18 millimeter. The DW291H, 18 millimeter. This is a 20 millimeter. So I had to get 20 millimeter adapter, 20 millimeter to 22 millimeter adapters to put on this elastic band. And to me, this is way more comfortable than the stock strap. So if you was to order one of these, you know, it might fit your wrist and it might not bother you any, but that stock resin strap, that shit had to go, because that was uncomfortable as all get out. I plan on doing the same kind of thing that I did for the AE1500 and do me a paracord strap for it in black. But yeah, that's for another day. That's for another video. But yeah, the stock resin strap, that shit wasn't for me. So I got on this elastic band for now, and honestly, it's very comfortable, quite comfortable. Fit, stop. So where does the AE3000 fit in a Casio lineup? It's the ultimate travel watch, the conversation starter, the king of screen real estate. If the AE1200 is your go-to daily, and the DW291H and the AE1500 are your weekend warriors, and then the AE3000 is your statement piece. Is it too big? Absolutely. Does it care? Absolutely not. Because sometimes size does matter. And in the world of Casio, this one's the heavyweight champ. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go to realign my posture after wearing this thing all morning. Now smash that like button if your wrists are big enough to handle it. Subscribe to the Big Wrist Syndicate, and I'll catch you in the next one. Y'all stay saucy, keep it funky, and I'm out. Peace.